Under APC incompetent, divisive, and corrupt leadership, Nigeria has been greatly diminished.
That you are interested in building your nation, that you can think and you can imagine. Only them and their children deserve freedom. Africans can never be free. Nigeria can never be better.
Nigeria's independence is what we are pursuing. The one they are celebrating is the one of the colonial masters.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to be playing a full video for you guys to take a look at. So, guys, watch this video from the beginning to the end if you're a Nigerian, because you need to understand the root cause of the problem that we are facing. You need to understand why most Nigerians still say that we don't have independence yet. We are still under the dictatorship of those that colonized us back in the years. You understand? Before Nigeria gained independence in the 1960s, we are still living in that illusion that we have independence. We have gained independence, yet we are still being, ruled from, wherever they are. These people left us, but they did not leave us. They are still, ruling us inside and outside. This is why our leaders are always running to France. Why do you think almost all our leaders are always going to France, going to United States of America, for one reason or the other, going there to strike deals that have kept us in perpetual bondage? Up till date, Nigeria is still backward. Like this present administration, like Peter Obi said, has taken us backward to the time that we thought we have even left behind. Today, Nigeria is struggling. The economic of Nigeria is going down. Have you ever come to think of it that the giant of Africa all of a sudden has collapsed and is now the fourth, in terms of economy of Africa? Before we were projected to be among the world powers, but where are we today? Nigeria is so backward. No wonder Fayo said, and the big man himself, Sowore, said that Nigeria have not gained independence. That is why he still protests till date. The independence we in Nigeria have is the one the colonial master gave, but the real independence, Nigeria have not gotten it yet. Now I'm going to play the first video of Peter Obi. Listen to what Peter Obi talk regarding this issue of Nigeria economy. Why the present administration has invested so much in luxury cars, yachts, buying of different houses, renovation of unimportant buildings, whereas the main important key area that is supposed to be renovated or that is supposed to be touched are left with almost it's just left like that to waste. Like, talk about the health sectors, the security of the Nigerian people is not guaranteed. Today, people are being quiet on daily basis, and this is because the colonialism that we're subjected to is still amongst us. Today, we are still being colonized, even though we don't know that we are still under our colonial masters. That is fact. Listen to what Peter will be talking, and after which I will bring you the next video of Seun Kuti. You can't afford to miss this video of Seun Kuti. This guy has expressly stated the problems of Nigeria, and it is up for all of us to listen to it and begin to act upon it and gain our real freedom, guys.
In 1999, we overcame military dictatorship and restored democracy, beginning a renewed journey towards prosperity, freedom, and justice. That journey helped us to build Africa's largest economy and strengthened our democratic journey. But over the last decade, under APC incompetent, divisive, and corrupt leadership, Nigeria has been greatly diminished. In 2007, our total debt was about 2.5 trillion. Only about 10% of our GDP, after President Obasanjo's government have successfully secured debt forgiveness of over $30 billion. By 2014, Nigeria had become Africa's largest economy and was primed to achieve middle income status. In 2015, for the first time, a ruling party was defeated in a presidential election, marking another milestone for our democratic journey. Today, the picture is bleak. Our total debt stands at about 170 trillion, nearly 50% of our GDP, without any improvement in our productive sector. Nigeria has now fallen to the fourth largest economy in Africa, behind South Africa, Egypt, and Algeria. Our democracy is now described as undemocratic. In just 1 year of this administration, 15 million Nigerians were pushed into acute poverty. Today, more than 150 million Nigerians lack access to basic health, education, water, and sanitation. The number is growing daily under the APC government that pursues brutal revenue-driven policies while ignoring the people's welfare. Nigeria now ranks among the lowest in the world in human development indicators. This government taxes struggling citizens and small businesses heavily while indulging in extravagance. Billions are spent on new presidential jets, yachts, and luxury cars. The cost of which is more than the 2024 budget for primary health care. The vice president's residence was renovated at a cost of 25 billion, more than the capital budget of our entire university research program and 6 university teaching hospitals combined. Over 10 billion was budgeted for National Assembly, car park, and canteen, more than the capital budget of Ministry of Science and Technology. At a time, science is crucial for national growth. Meanwhile, Nigerians pay more for everything now and receive less. Passports, permits, electricity, petrol, food, rent, healthcare all cost more. Yet, power supply remains unreliable, food insecurity deepens. UNICEF World Food Program projects that 33 million Nigerians will face acute hunger in 2025. This government borrows recklessly, not for investment in productive infrastructure, but for wasteful consumption. Insecurity has further crippled our economy. Nigerians now live in fear of traveling by road. Kidnapping has become rampant, with billions paid as ransom. Incompetence in security management has turned our country into one of the most terrorized and unsafe nations in the world. Cronyism, corruption, and disregard for rule of law have scared away investors, while other African countries have overtaken us as preferred investment destinations.
Well, welcome back again. So you have heard it from Peter Obi, making it clear that Nigeria is backward. I mean, if you listen to the debt that we are owing currently, you understand that there is trouble. The fact that these people buy cars worth more than billions and trillions, the money they are spending on their yachts, on their personal items is much more than the money they are spending for the welfare of the entire Nigeria, which is made up of over 200 million people. This is just too much. Like, what is really going on in Nigeria, that they have prioritized personal profit over the collective, responsibility of Nigerians. Fayose, the big man Seun Kuti don't come out, they talk about revealing a whole lot of things regarding our Nigerian leaders, why we are still in perpetual bondage till today. See, one thing remains that once you start speaking the truth, they will start fighting you. Till date, we are seeing that people who raise their voice for the betterment of Nigeria is being swept under the carpet. People like Sowore is oppressed. Seun Kuti can't even come out to make some statements, and the government will go out on their way to make sure that they tarnish him, they bring him down. We saw what happened to his father before he came up like this up to today. The things that are happening in this country, listen, I don't want to talk too much. Listen to waiting the big man himself, Seun Kuti, talk, and after which I'll bring you the next video of Sowore criticizing the present administration for conniving with Americans, conniving with all our oppressors to continue oppressing us and leaving us in perpetual bondage. Up to today, Nigeria has no manufacturing industry. Nothing is being produced in this country, even with all our resources combined. Yet we can't afford 2 square meals a day. This is the height of wickedness. Our leaders are sitting upon the resources that is meant for every one of us, and they are dominating it, spreading the wealth, taking it, looting it out of the country, and saving it in their pockets, sitting on it for their so-called benefit and the benefit of their family. Today, the Nigerian, wealth is being shared among the elites. Should I even call them the elites? I be those that are power drunken, individuals who don't want to leave power by all means. Listen to waiting in talk and stay tuned, because after this video, I'll bring you the next video of Sowore also addressing the same issue.
We have never been independent. The people, the workers of Nigeria's independence was stolen to give an independence to only the ruling class. The independence we have in Nigeria is independence for the ruling class to act. Before, they were not allowed to act. Why? How did they lose power to act? Not only are they a fake ruling class, a treacherous ruling class, because these are the people who betray Africa. These are the descendants of the betrayers of Africa, that betray the real elites of Africa, that work with Europeans to bring Africa down. The descendants of slave traders and their agents. Now then, they rule the whole of Africa. What is a military man in Africa if he's not a descendant of a slaver? It might not be physical descendant, but it's a spiritual descendant, because that is the work of the soldier man in Africa under the Oyibo man, to enforce the slavery of African people. What will be the name of Oyibo man business partner and the agents, if not enablers of the enslaving of Africa? The independence we have in Nigeria is an agreement between these two forces, the enablers of slavery and the slavers, to come together and create this yeye country with the CISO. Finish. They hijack the true spirit of the people. They sideline the people. And that is the underground battle that has always been going on in this country and in Africa. The fight between the people reclaiming their humanity and this ruling class we have all over Africa, that have sold our humanity for only they to be humans. Finish. That's why when you go to hear for society, some people go to say Nigeria can never better. You know what he mean when somebody say Nigeria can never better? He's saying these are animals. Finish. Only animals cannot run a country. Our ruling class and their agents are those Africans that have accepted with Europeans that we are animals. And you go to, as it as their code word. Their code word, the code word for the imperialized mind, for the so-called civilized mind, is Nigeria can never better. Because they know, say, they being in charge will only create this animal instinct, to remove us from our humanity, not remove us, to deny us our humanity. So the independence, this independence is an independence of the ruling class. Why our ruling class? You ask, what do you mean independence of the ruling class? If they were working with Oyibo and they were okay, why do they need independence? Because they too were subjugated. Foolish people. Their ancestors weakened us to the extent by trusting Oyibo. They think say Oyibo na their friend. And they tell you, okay, they teach us about Jaja of Opobo. So always use Jaja of Opobo as reference. A man that was used to usurp power from the traditional power structure. Because Oyibo knows they no fit defeat that traditional power structure. They used Jaja of Opobo, brought him up to fight his own people, destroy his own people. In fact, Jaja of Opobo assisted the British. Without Jaja of Opobo, the British would never have conquered the Ashanti people. Now Jaja of Opobo give them the warriors, the African warriors. We know that, we know those people and the fighting style and that area. You know they for that coastal area. In fact, when he helped the Queen, when he helped British to defeat the Ashanti people, the Queen sent him a special sword. When he said they take the show off, say, the Queen give me sword, me too. Hey. That is all they want in life. That only they, Jaja was a slave, a man whose humanity was removed. Oyibo come and say, listen, take humanity on one condition: you are the only human. We want to give you humanity, but you must, before we give it to you, you go accept with us. Say now only you be human being. All your people are still animals. Do you agree? And all of them say yes. So they think that we are animals. Say Oyibo, don't they be human being with Oyibo? Oyibo not human being. Then when they be like Oyibo, they be human being. But the rest of us that can never be like Oyibo, because being like Oyibo is economics. Frank Fanon explains that in Black Skin, White Masks. Whiteness is economics. Whiteness is economics. With money as an African man, you can access whiteness. Yeah. You can enter the white wall. Even though you know at the back of your mind that you are not white. You are one step down. But, oh, man. So they tell you, we will give you what you need to access our world. You must agree, though, that all your brothers and sisters can never access it. And they say yes. They agree. They agree. But what ended Jaja of Opobo? How did they end him? Back as a slave. And that na the destiny of all these traitors when they destroy Africa today. Not learning from the people like Jaja, thinking that they now, these new ones, these new sets, they think that they can betray us and Oyibo will elevate them forever. The day they will betray them back again like they did for Jaja. It's coming. It's coming. So Jaja, understanding that his own concept now, our elites needed their independence because after selling their people to Oyibo, thinking say Oyibo no go turn back on them. When the white man saw by the 19th century, by 1845, between 1845 and 1865, that they have weakened the Africans enough to take power from them, the white man struck and took power from our elite, our ruling class. These they are fake people they put for the Jajas of Africa. Oyibo just come, take power from them and subjugated them too under colonialism. The positions that they have always held, Oyibo can't hold down, can't demote them down. They never saw a way up. They now, because they know they have betrayed their people for centuries. After 200 years of betraying your people, the people no send them. The people no like them. So them, they don't guys stay the level where you put them. One only lost iwaju, one only lost any. Our ruling class was in limbo. I'm giving you short summary of our independence struggle. This is I'm giving you what I would call spiritual summary. This is a spiritual summary, just so you understand the minds, the larger picture of the game, of what, by and large, everywhere in Africa, this is what happened. Our ruling class, due to 200 years of betrayal of their own people, during colonialism, Oyibo betrayed them, took their power, demote their children, them and their children, to servants of Oyibo system. So their children were forced to enter army, work in the civil service, you know, to appease them. That's why you call the beginning of the year now, those days, Nigeria. So their children are started becoming first lawyer, first doctor, you know, first woman to drive a motor car. He touched me himself or my family. Yes. my grandfather was a fucking colonialist. His great-grandfather, my great-grandfather, same thing. And I'm happy my family commit class suicide to break away the chain, because that is the right thing to do. Yes, my papa self talking for Kolo mentality. Go hear Kolo mentality. Mr. Ransom make you hear, he call his name, because he know the part his ancestors played. Yeah. We remove ourselves from the ransom game. We are Anikulapo now. We are back with our people. Do your worst. Do your worst. We are back with our people. To appease their children, give them different posts in the civil service. First accountant general, first Nigerian army man, first Nigerian general, first Nigerian this one. Hey. The way we are, the first we are still chasing. You understand? At that time it starts. But suddenly the Nigerian people stood up. Due to the way this civil service occupied, the civil service was occupied by our elites, and the government, the royal government, by white people. Due to their wickedness again on the people together working. I say there's a reason they don't teach us about colonialism in detail. Any African man will not take in time go and study our life under colonialism and continue to say, you go through, but you don't know what your fathers went through. You don't know the humiliation that colonialism means. You don't understand. You don't understand. If only you could go, just take your time to study life under colonial, the dehumanizing, the pissing in people's face, open people's mouth, shit inside. What you even know do us and all these big black people? You are an animal to them. No, that's whip. They go whip people to death. Call one of those. These people will become Nigerian army. All these will become army. When they come turn to Nigerian army. That's why they were not Nigerian army. They were Queen's Guard. Before they were West African Frontier Force, Hausa boys, Glover boys, different name, but their original name is slave catcher. They were the slave catchers. During colonialism, they become police and army. These people will flog an African man to death to appease a white man. Civil servants will go and destroy a whole village to appease white people. This was our experience. Then the workers that they were punishing, all these people stood up, organized themselves. Oyibo comes to say the game is up. Now this ruling class will not know whether to go front or go back. Since 1861, where Oyibo don't slap for their face, collect all their power. Now saw a way back to their old position of power over their people. They come to meet Oyibo, say, hey, they don't shout to, if you don't put us, they will remove everybody. That's all that happened. Oyibo now handed to them. to give them their own independence with the same agreement they give Jaja. Only una be human being. The rest of una brothers and sisters are still what? Animals. That is the reason why for Nigeria, nothing they hate pass than to see a Nigerian man try to act human, to be a human being. How dare you act like a human being? Say you see truth, you talk calm. That's a human behavior, bro.
After listening to wetin Seun Kuti talk, I could imagine the pains and suffering our forefathers went through. Till date, we have not been able to pay them back for the fight they fought for us. Our forefathers, put up an impressive fight. Our today youth has become so, they are now pursuing after money, buying one another. Today, there's a lot of kidnapping, armed robbery, bribery at its peak. The kind of crime that is being perpetrated today by our own youth who are supposed to be defending us here. If you look at it all, you just know that there is a faulty system somewhere. All of us have forgotten the fight our forefathers fought for us because we don't go back to history, and the government is making sure to not bring it to our remembrance, in terms of the academic classrooms. They are not teaching us our history. They are not teaching us how the colonial master dealt with us, how they had in the shit for our mouths, how all the things they did to our forefathers. They tell us all these things. Why? Because the Englishman has made it so that, designed curriculum so that, we don't get to know all of these things. They are doing it to ensure that we don't get to know them, so that we don't wake up to know our rights, to fight for what belongs to us and take back this country. Today, Nigeria have sold all the resources we have. The crude oil you think we have, there were some times ago speculation came up that our crude oil today we don't have is not our own again. The US and other countries has paid for it, and they are taking it, and probably they are giving us part of it to sustain our life. This is the country where we have over 200 million people. This country is projected to be, very soon will be getting to about 400 million people, and yet there's no provision for the population. Hunger at its peak every now and then. Nobody knows how we're going to be surviving from time to time. Look at the level of hunger and hardship today, and imagine Nigeria increasing to 400 million people with no plans put in place to cater for this population. This is why we have a lot of criminalities on ground. People buying a lot of people, Yahoo here and there, and we have a lot of crime going on in the north. And our government are sponsoring most of these, issues. Look at what happened in Kwara State, where the woman came out and was crying and lamenting that, allegedly the armies are the one, sponsoring these people, giving them weapons to fight against the local people around. They disarmed the vigilante groups, and these people came from helicopter and buyed a lot of people in that particular village, and our government are sleeping on it. But peaceful protesters, they will come out there with guns, with ammunition, and then bring you down, make sure that you don't succeed. And the issue still remains that at the moment we are living in bondage because we have refused to grow out of this issue. Listen to what Sowore talk, guys, and I will be right back.
Nigeria's independence is what we are pursuing. The one they are celebrating is the one of the colonial masters. Our own independence has not arrived yet.
Yes.
That is why annually we used to protest on Independence Day. We are still looking for independence. We want to be freed from neo-colonial masters and slave masters in our. We are still living in apartheid.
Yes.
Any country where people work and they cannot get pension is not an independent country. Any country where people speak and they get clamped down into prison or detention is not independent. That is what the colonial masters used to do to us. Yes. The colonial masters used to call what they call cyber crime. Now they used to call it the sedition law. If you speak, you go to jail against authority. So we are still looking for independence. Revolution now. Thank you.
In all of this, One thing is sure, Nigeria freedom must surely come. A better Nigeria, they still hope that, okay, Nigeria will rise again. But how do we attain this level? At this point, fighting is as if it's not going to solve it. But, there's only one means which we can solve this issue: choosing the right leaders, selecting the right leaders. I still believe that one day our leaders they go find way to run, they no go see. I mean, one day, they go regret am, because the Nigerian youth will wake up one day and they will seize the entire airport. They will not be able to fly out of this country. No movement until all these people are being killed one after the other. I believe that one day the youth is going to take over this country and run the affairs of this country the way it's supposed to be. And one day, Nigeria will take over, will take back their country and begin to do things the way it's supposed to be done. Today, they don't consider us humans. They see us as, animals in the bush, black man, and a whole lot of things that is going on against, the Nigerian people and against Africa as a whole. We need to rise up to the occasion, begin to attend, wise counsels, begin to listen to things that are, supposed to build us, unite us, and let's go tribalism, which has become the major divisive weapons and tools fashioned against the Nigerian people. Until we raise the standard against these things, we are not going anywhere. Let me know your opinion in the comment section. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also share this video. Let it go viral, guys.